Let's talk about positivity in your everyday life. Your enthusiasm is contagious. I think we can all agree on that. When you are excited about something, there is very little chance that you are hiding that from people. Because of the contagious nature of your positivity, of your excitement, I would imagine that you can get even the crankiest Scrooge in your life on board to do things that you want to do, or have conversations about things you want to talk about, or just celebrate things you want to celebrate. One of the parts of positivity that's interesting and that I really love is that it really is about humor as well. So, part of your positivity is including your sense of humor. It's important to share this humor and this energy with those around you because, as we've said, it is infectious and it is something that helps you to build relationships with other people. There's kind of this thought around positivity that you might have that's like, oh, I need to constantly be uplifting everyone around me. I need to find the down people and bring them up because I'm up. And yay, let's do that. But I actually would say, just based on the research and based what I've seen in with my clients, is not to spend too much time around perpetually negative people. Of course, if you can help it, obviously there are going to be situations where you're going to be around perpetually negative people, but I would maybe encourage you to not seek those people out all the time, because spending a lot of time around perpetually negative people who are not going to be uplifted by your positivity can really just lead you to feeling down and them not perking up, and you don't need that in your life. And one of your skills, your strengths, your bright spots is your positivity. So being in an environment that brings you down means that you are not able to utilize your positivity. You're not gaining energy from that, and therefore you're probably losing energy from it. So just think about that. If there's a little bit of that kind of happiness savior that shows up for you, where you're just like, I just want to make everyone happy. I want everyone to feel the way I feel about things. I want them to feel optimistic. I want them to laugh. That's great. Recognize where that's not going to work and spend your time and energy on people who are interested in your positivity, who want that in their lives, and who are going to embrace it, because that's ultimately what's going to bring you energy at the end of the day. Now, from my experience with coaching, and if you don't have positivity and you're watching this video, welcome. Thank you for being here. But I would say that most people, when they hear the word positivity, they automatically assume bubbly. But in my experience, coaching the people that I've coached who have positivity high on their strengths top 10, the way I see it show up is more optimism or hope or humor, and like maybe kind of golden retriever energy. Most of the people that I've worked with who have positivity high have this way about them that makes you feel seen and understood, and like all of your ideas are possible, and that they'll be there to cheer you on, and that everything's going to work out. And that's not always bubbly. Sometimes it's really deep. Sometimes it's really thoughtful, right? It's not always just bouncing into the room and sprinkling happy dust. Sometimes it's really sitting with people in challenging moments in their lives, in having hard conversations, where that optimism and that hope kind of comes through. So I think that's really important to note. If you have positivity high and you're like, I am not a bubbly person, great. That's okay. You can still have positivity high and not be this bounding, bubbly, funny person. It can come off in different ways. And so just notice how it's showing up in your life versus maybe what the definition says or what I say in these videos. How does positivity show up for you as an individual? So maybe you are bubbly. Maybe you're more quiet, but you can't help but see the good, be the good, etc. Whatever it is for you, however you show up with your positivity, all I have to say is just keep doing it. Lean into it. We need it. So, as with every strength, there are blind spots. The biggest way that I see positivity showing up in life, the blind spot, the way it shows up as a blind spot in life, is, maybe you guessed it, toxic positivity, both aimed at yourself and at others. So if you don't know what toxic positivity is, it's kind of like this brushing over of hard things. It's this, well, everything happens for a reason, or everything's going to work out, which can be true, but is not always the thing people need to hear. So when bad or hard things happen to you, remember that it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to be frustrated. And I know that you are all likely to always look for the light or the positive spin on whatever is happening to you. And again, that's great. And we need that. But I also just encourage you not to go to that place too fast, not to circumnavigate the experience that you're having, the feelings that you're having in order to get to that light or to that positive spin. Part of life is learning how to move through challenging situations, challenging feelings, not to circumnavigate them. And you may be really good at circumnavigating them. So if you can take time and practice sitting with your feelings, sitting with hard experiences, sitting with hard conversations before going to the bright side or the positive spin, that is ultimately going to help build your personal resilience and help you show up for others in more productive ways as well. So in that vein, the same goes for others. When someone shares a hard experience or a bad situation, your first instinct might be to point to the bright side or say, it could have been worse. Fact, it could have, but that's probably not what they need to hear in that moment. One of your big challenges, the things that you probably have to learn if you have positivity really high in your strengths, is to let people vent. Let people share their experiences. Let people experience their experiences. Let them feel their feelings. And then maybe even let them wallow, which might feel very foreign to you and very like, why would we ever do that? Why would we ever wallow? Sometimes they need to, and sometimes you have to let them. And by letting people kind of be in their experiences and be in their feelings and even wallow, what that does is it validates their experience. By you showing up and witnessing and saying, wow, that's really hard. That's oftentimes what people need to see and to hear. And at some point, they might be ready to look at the bright side. At some point, they might be ready to hear that it could have been worse, or maybe they even say that it could have been worse. But wait for that indication. Don't be the first person to say that if it's not your experience that you're discussing. So that's the biggest thing to keep in mind when it comes to positivity in life. Let people be people and be your bright and wonderful and hopeful and encouraging self. Just know when to maybe pause and take a breath. All right, let's talk about some tips and tricks in the next video.